Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bring on the Sabbath. And we're coming live not only from Atlanta, Georgia tonight, we're going to be coming live from Germantown, Maryland. That's correct, Mike?
That's correct, Jeff. Yes.
Yes. And Tyler, Texas. Hello, Lisa. How you doing?
Hi, everyone. So good to see all of y'all.
Yes. So good to be back. With Lisa's been a while since we've had bots together.
That's true. I hated to be away for so long.
So how have things been going? How have things been going, Lisa?
Great.
Great.
Things are going great. School has been extra busy. And I'm hoping, we're kind of like just capping off this year now, and it's been an extremely wild ride.
Are you doing digital learning and live learning at the same time?
Yes. I have one grade level of digital and then 2 grade levels of in-person learning. But then there's the occasional digital that comes up because of all of the quarantines that are happening. So sometimes I might have a student that's in my non-digital class go into quarantine. And so I have to come up with digital lessons all of a sudden. So I just stopped doing that. I just make digital lessons I have 4 different preps now. So I prepare digital for like 2 levels and in class for 2 levels. It's really busy.
Yeah, so I know you've been very busy. It's kind of hard to get on bots when you're so busy.
Yes. It's just very time consuming.
Yes. But I guess you're doing a really good thing though. So that's
well, the education system, with COVID has really kind of failed, and it's about getting those kids back up to level right now.
Yes, understanding. All right, so I guess we have some special guests tonight. We're going to bring on who we're going to bring on Brianne James. That is your daughter, right, Mike?
Yeah, that's my daughter. She's upstairs. I'm down in the basement right now because we can't really fit too well in the same picture here with the laptops. So, Brianne, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, there she is. Say hi.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Okay, doing good, Brianne. Thanks for helping us out tonight. Appreciate it. We don't have Connor's Corner tonight, Jeff, so we'll call this Brianne's Block, okay?
Okay, great.
That sounds great.
Yes. So I guess we just get into Brianne's Block, and then I'll do some announcements afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so what we're going to do is just talk to Brianne a little bit and hear from her on how she feels about going to church, what she likes, doesn't like, Sabbath school, all that sort of thing. And I just want to let everybody know right now, my local church has been out of our building for almost a year now. And I just found out that we're not going to be back in that building at least until summer. I made some calls to hotel rooms and county facilities, but the county I live in, everything is still shut down. So we haven't been able to get back together. We're just meeting online. So I wanted to talk to Brianne about how she felt about church in general when we were in church with the others, and what she likes and doesn't like, just for people out there to think about with their young kids, some ideas they may try, or some different things that may help based on a young person's thoughts about this. So, Brianne, first question, just tell us a little bit about yourself, what's going on with your schooling right now, and then some of the hobbies you're into, okay?
Hi, my name's Brianne. I'm 12 years old and I'll be 13 on May 13th, which is pretty exciting. I'm homeschooled right now. I've been homeschooled since 6th grade, and my mom and dad got me a curriculum called Becca Academy. So I get books and video lessons and tests all along with that. It's been pretty fun. I have friends who are also homeschooled and they use the same curriculum that I do. So if we ever have questions about homework and stuff, I can always ask them, which is pretty nice. And it's also nice because I'm not alone, you know, so I still have people that I can talk to about homeschool and they can relate to it. One thing that I do miss about school is making friends, though. So that's just one thing that I miss. Some of my hobbies, I like to read. I like to play video games. Watch Star Wars is a new hobby of mine. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Brianne. Yeah, we've gone through the old Star Wars movies together and we did a lot of Disney years ago. Now we're doing the Star Wars thing. So Brianne, the first question I want to ask you is just about church in general. When we go to church, you know, I take you to church with me. What do you like about going to church?
Well, I like hanging out with people, just talking to people, which is a rarity now. I don't know. I think church was always fun because I got to see people that I knew. And that's just one thing that I enjoyed about it. Also, the snack table was really nice. And most of the sermons were really good too. So overall, it was really fun. I also had Sabbath school that I would do with two of the people that went to my church. So that was also something I looked forward to as well.
Okay. So having said that, how about some things that you didn't like about church? And tell us why. And then for the reason, this is the reason, maybe some of the adults out there, when they think about their local churches, can think about what kids don't like or what they would like to change about church. So if we could do things different, what is it you don't like? What might you want different at church?
Overall, it was pretty fun. I just kind of wish that more kids went to the church because I was pretty much the only one there. So I would kind of have to entertain myself if I ever got bored. Let me see what else. Oh, Sabbath school was pretty fun. I also kind of wish that the sermons were more like, I guess, I mean, they were good, but I just feel like as a kid, they didn't really appeal to me because there's certain things that I like and I think are interesting. Like, for example, in my Bible class that I do at school, my teacher talks about parables and more fun stories. And I feel like if maybe some of those more of the sermons were about that, I would have been a bit more interested because they're more fun topics. No offense to anyone. Yeah, but that was pretty much it. Overall, it was really fun. Those are just a few things that I would change.
Okay, yeah, so storytelling, no doubt about it. I think one reason why children and adults alike like stories is because it impacts both parts of the brain and it engages you more fully than just lecturing. So for any speakers out there, or if you can get a message to your speakers, let them know that putting stories into your sermons, whether they're true stories or parables, biblical stories, that's always going to engage people's brains, young and old alike. So thanks for that, Brianne. When you think about the Sabbath school lessons that you had, what were some of the lessons you enjoyed more than other lessons, and why was that?
Well, two of the lessons that I really enjoyed were the lesson about the tabernacle and how the Israelites had to set up the tabernacle in the desert. And then also the one that I liked the most was this like session that we had over, I think maybe 1 or 2 months. It was a few weeks all put together, but I learned about creation and also how scientists have been able to disprove evolution. And that was pretty interesting because it kind of combined two things that I like, you know, religion and science. So those were two of my favorite lessons that I did for Sabbath school.
Okay, very good. That's good to know. Definitely evolution is something a lot of kids get in school, and a lot of our young people are not told about the creation and the fact that God created everything and got it going. Could even be involved in what science calls the Big Bang today. We won't get into the details of that tonight, other than to say there's a lot of interesting things that kids like about science, whether it's cosmology, astronomy, biology and how we got here, et cetera, et cetera. But the tabernacle, what was of interest to you about that lesson? Why that particular lesson? I get the science side because I know you pretty well. I think we did talk about it, but I forget what it was about that lesson. Again, I'm not teaching the class, but what was it about that grabbed your attention?
Well, I learned a lot about the symbolism of different parts of the tabernacle, and also how there's two parts of the kind of tent that they built. I don't know what I really enjoyed about it, but I think that what made me like it, I'm just guessing. Well, I mean, I know myself, but this is just something that I think made me like it even more. Was I think the way it was taught, my teacher, the other Mr. Mike, I think he just taught it in a way that was fun. And since we always celebrate the Feast of Tabernacles every year, it was cool kind of getting how to learn how that became the Feast of Tabernacles and what the first tabernacle was like. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, because you've been to the Feast of Tabernacles a number of times. So connecting with what that's all about, that lesson helped you get, why am I going away to the feast? What does this all mean? Okay, I got you. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense that what we talk about, if we can find a physical, real application of it, that's something I learned as a trainer, that some people really like a hands-on approach, that, you're telling them about the Feast of Tabernacles, but can we show you that? Can we experience that in some way? And that sounds a little bit like what grabbed you in that particular lesson. So thanks for that info, Brian. I think we got just time for a couple more questions, Brian. And I'm going to ask Jeff or Lisa if they have a question for you, Brian. I know we weren't preparing for their questions.
I do.
But maybe, Lisa has a question. So I think Brian can handle it.
I do have a question. When I was listening to you talk about the things that you like and don't like about church, I was wondering about music. What do you think about the music?
Well, I think the music's really nice. I like singing and playing the piano and things like that. So whenever we do hymns, it's always pretty fun. And yeah, overall, I think the music is pretty good. I like the hymns.
Good.
Brian, do you have any final thoughts you'd like to express here on your first Bring on the Sabbath show? Can we get you back in the future?
I mean, sure. I'm always available on Fridays. So, whenever you need me, I'll be here.
Okay.
Obviously, she's got a busy schedule.
Yeah, she does. She's pretty busy. She's got a lot of things going on besides school and her hobbies. She's dabbling a little bit in acting and performing and things like that. And we're taking her to dance practice once a week. So she's a busy little girl. So, Brian, thanks a lot for joining us today. I'm going to turn it back to Jeff, and we'll just say bye for now, Brian, okay?
No problem. Thank you. Happy Sabbath, everyone. Well, early Sabbath.
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us. Yes, so I'm going to make some announcements right now, and after we do the announcements, then we have another guest I'm going to let Lisa introduce.
Yay!
All right, so I'm going to make just a few announcements before we get to that. First off, I wanted to bring up the fact of our CGI Digital Network, as we are now going 24 hours. We have a 24-hour webcast.
Wow.
24-hour webcast that if you're in the app or you can watch on the website, you can watch different programming 24 hours. That's a lot of repeats. Again, a lot of the stuff you can already watch and you can already watch on a replay, but this kind of gives it like a live feeling. And then we have some new things that we've been working on. This was our 6th week that we're doing Prove All Things, which is our new program. Maybe Mike, would you want to explain that about our new program that we're working on?
Sure, Jeff. Thanks. Again, it's Tuesdays at noon. It's live on Tuesdays at noon Eastern Standard Time. And then the show repeats, I believe, at 11 p.m. Tuesday night. Then on Thursday, it repeats at noon and 11 again. And I believe it's on once on the weekend late at night. And what we're doing on that show is we're trying to address topics from different angles, from different nuanced views. So let's say this week we talked to Bill Watson about the young earth versus the old earth. And we talked about some who believe in the young earth and some of the things that they believe and say. And then we looked at the opposing view of that and why people oppose some of what the young earthers are saying on certain things. Now, that's such a vast topic. We will address it in the future, but that's kind of how the program goes. We usually have a guest. If we don't have a guest, Jeff and I will throw a topic back and forth over the 55 minutes we're together. We also have people commenting in the chat box from Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, other media too. Jeff could tell us more about that.
Yeah.
But Jeff will sometimes grab those questions and bring them right into the show. And some of the questions or comments we get are ideas for future shows. We had a guy commenting this week about why we don't keep the new moons. And again, we have nothing against the new moons. If you want to do the new moons, you can. That's up to you. But we're going to deal with that topic and why we don't keep them. One of the reasons is the new moons are not a holy day. And we're going to address that topic in detail in the future. And I believe we're going to bring in George Ramakan, one of our elders from the United Kingdom. He's done a lot of extensive research on that topic, and we'll be talking about that in the future. But is that enough background on that, Jeff?
Yeah, I think you summed it up pretty well. So yeah, that's a new program we're very excited about. I mean, our goal is to do one every week. I'm sure at some point during the feast we may not be able to do one, but we're going to try to do one every week, 12 noon on Tuesdays, and hopefully we'll have a wide variety of people join us. So we're really excited about that. Another thing I'm excited about is our new fellowship app. The Church of God International has developed for the Church of God. So the Church of, and the thing is, I'm excited because we have over 500 people have joined fellowship, over 500. So that's really quite a really good start to get people involved with this. Now the thing I would like to see more is more involvement, more posting, people, treating it more like a Facebook or a Twitter or an Instagram or something like that. But it seems like the fellowship, that people they're on their best behavior there, which is probably, I guess, a good thing that they're on their best behavior. But again, it's a place you can share your family photos, you can share ideas. We will not censor like Facebook does, religious thoughts or things of that nature. I mean, there's certain things we won't allow because of laws and stuff, but for the most part, it's just a good forum for Church of God to get together and to make friends, share events, share things. And I think we're really excited about this, and the future is going to be good. There's going to be some improvements coming to it. It's going to make it even easier to share and work a lot better. So we're really excited about this, the fellowship app. And hopefully, if you haven't joined it yet, please try it out and join us on there. And if you are a part of it, come and post and share, because we would really want to hear what you have to say. All right. So with that, I guess the next thing we want to get into is Lisa is going to introduce our next guest.
Yes. And I'm assuming he's out there and on, that he was able to get on. The reason why I'm on tonight is because I am promoting something for the churches, and it's in conjunction with several churches, and I wouldn't have been able to do this without our next guest. So I would like to introduce my friend, a really good friend of mine, and the elder for the North Texas Fellowship Church in McKinney, Texas, Mr. Johnny Snyder. You out there, Johnny?
Hey, good evening, everybody, and happy Sabbath.
Hey, John, happy Sabbath. You sound very clear. You sound clearer than anybody.
Let me tell you, I'm sorry for the technical problems. I had to come up. We're having a family dinner, and I had to borrow my brother-in-law's computer, so it worked.
It's working good.
Very good.
Doesn't his job involve computers? His job
It
involves
does.
computers, doesn't it?
It
Of course,
does.
he's got the best connection.
We're going to have to talk to him.
Very much. Hey, if I may, I'll go ahead and I just want to say thank you. This personally would not be possible if it were not for Lisa. And I really appreciate, I know that she hosted a very successful women's retreat last year at Tanglewood Resort here in North Texas. And hey, Amy Hohertz, and I shout out, good to see you. But I was really pleased for the invite and the notion of adding a men's side to this retreat. And it's not a couples retreat, and maybe Lisa already explained that, but it's 2 simultaneous retreats for men and women. And what I really love about this is what is really building up steam in the COGs, it seems like, is men's groups. And we've been doing this now for about 5 or 6 years, beginning with some programs like some people might recognize Stepping Up, which is offered by Family Life. And then another one that we've done, Authentic Manhood. And then one that really gets deep into some core issues, and that's Conquer series, dealing with addictions and such. But we even had a successful men's group here at this last feast at Tanglewood, in which a fellow, some of you might know, Mark Weiss from East Texas, hosted a men's group every morning of the feast for 2 hours, giving similarities for the beer making process compared to the way men operate and the way that we need to also refine ourselves. So it was a wonderful thing. And I want to say this retreat that we're planning, that Lisa and I are planning, I actually got wind of a plan for a men's retreat that was supposed to occur last year and did not because of one's illness. But this was truly the inspiration. I said that we should go ahead and push through this agenda to host this type of men's retreat. And it was inspired by a man up in Missouri, some might know, John Monahan, who fell ill, but we didn't want to let this go. But it was apparently him and a fellow from Iowa that we might know, Bill Rollins. That anybody, that name I think is familiar. And then a buddy of mine up in Emporia, Kansas, Dusty Howell, they together brainstormed last year for a men's retreat. And we said, why don't we do that here with Lisa's group? So what I want to do is just real quickly summarize what the men's group is going to go through. It's a little less regimented like the ones I described to you earlier. But the best way I can do it is just go ahead and read Bill Rollins' writings, inspired by John Monahan, with them getting together. The suggestion for this men's retreat is their banner scripture in 2 Chronicles 16:9, and I'll quote, "For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to him." As talked about, these days in which we live, are fraught with darkness, and it's getting even deeper, as some would agree. I think most would agree, actually. We as God's children have only one path to walk. In Proverbs 3, verse 5 through 6, we read, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge our eternal God, and he will make your path straight." This path of this retreat that we walk must be the one that our Heavenly Father makes straight for us. Actually, that's life and not just the retreat. We need to be strengthened for this task, and so we need to ensure that our hearts are fully and perfectly committed to him. These days are serious ones, and our intent and resolve has to be to acknowledge and to know him. And what I'm finding personally as a man is, especially within the body of Christ, we need each other, and we need a venue in which we can have heart-to-heart conversations and talk about real matters that affect us deeply. Some of them personal, but if we are not able to open up those avenues to speak and to talk about real trouble, items, matters of the heart, matters of the mind, then it's really difficult for us to overcome individually. And I think God put it forth for each of us to lean on each other and to bear one another's burdens. So that is the hope for this men's retreat, is that we gather together as men and we have heartfelt discussions. It will be led with intent, but we're also looking for to be led in prayer and to be guided by the Holy Spirit. So hopefully that describes it well for you. And I want to say thank you again, Lisa, for letting us do this with you.
Oh, I'm so appreciative that we were able to do this together. I didn't really introduce, but thanks to Johnny and to Jeff for all of the graphics that have gone up. We're having a women and men's retreat.
Oh.
So no, it's okay. We're having a men's/women's retreat, and it's going to be on the shores of Lake Texoma, between Oklahoma and Texas, at the Tanglewood Resort and Conference Center. And if you have a phone and you can scan that little button, it takes you straight to the webpage. If you need to know the webpage, it's actually North Texas FOT/men's-women's-retreat. And you can get more information there, or you can just scan the screen if you're on a screen, or take a picture and you can do the scan there. But on the women's side of this, we're going to be doing a regular type women's study that we've done over the last 3 years. This is my 3rd year to host a retreat for the churches, and we're going to be embarking on an imaginative journey around the wonderful world. And we're going to go to 7 different continents and explore the wonders of a woman's heart. And we're going to do some in-depth Bible studies, and we're going to have a really great worship experience together. And it's an open invitation for girlfriends. The way that we're going to handle this is that we're going to have men's and women's sessions at the same time, but separately. And then we're going to have time where we have like meals, and also we're going to be having some just fellowship time together with the men as well. So, I mean, you can come as a couple and you can come as a single. You must be 14 and up to join this. And we're just, I mean, on the women's side, we're going to have a really good time bonding as women, and none of these proceedings will be broadcast. So it's going to be more personable to people to come. So if you want to know what's going on there, you just have to register and come down. Our banner scripture is going to be John 3:16. And I'm really excited about that. For God so loved the world. And our main lesson is going to be about the woman that is in Mark 5 that had the issue for 12 years. And we're going to talk about different components of what her life may have been like. So a lot of times, you know, we go through a lot of those times too as women. We're going to have, it's going to start on Friday, June the 4th, and it will end on Sunday, June the 6th. So save the date, mark your calendars for that time, and hopefully you can get on down here to Texas, in between Oklahoma and Texas, and join us. We are so excited to be able to present this to you. And with the help of several churches, right now, CEM, Tulsa Church of God, and CGI, and possibly more to come.
All right, wonderful, wonderful. So a few questions. What is the cost involved if someone would want to come? Is there the same cost for everyone, either the men's or the women's, or is there different?
Yeah, the cost is going to be $105 per person. And when you go to the website there, you can register to be a participant, and you'll get the information about how you register to be asked the resort, because everyone's going to be going to have to get their room at the resort also. So, but we're going to have some, hopefully we're going to have some scholarships. And we're still working on that. We're going to hopefully get plenty of scholarships for those who might need some financial assistance now, because I mean, right now, you know, times are kind of hard for several. So don't be afraid to ask about that too. If you're logging in and you just need a tuition.
If I may mention, Lisa, to everybody, the 105 is actually, it's purely to cover the cost of the meals. And I believe we're having 6 or 7 meals throughout that weekend. So in all actuality, other than New York, wishing to eat, and then also the accommodations, it's actually truly free. But I would say too that if those costs for the housing and the food are beyond your budget, please reach out to us. We want anybody that really wants to come to this retreat to be able to come. So
yes, that is true. Thanks for bringing forth that information, Johnny.
All right, wonderful. Could one of you in our little private chat send me the email, the website address, so that I'll put it up on the screen so you can actually see that address as well. I'll just copy and paste it up there for those.
Hey, I just want to commend you guys for including men in this. You know, I've heard of women's retreats in the past within the Church of God movement. Not too many times have I heard of a men's retreat. And I think that that's great, because it's more difficult to get men to talk about things than women in a general sense. And I think that getting intimate in a closed door session with just a bunch of guys gives men an opportunity to open up a little bit more than they normally would. And I think that, you know, my wife can tell you that she tries to get me to open up a little bit more about things. And I know that that's the right thing to do. You learn more, you grow more when you're able to reveal more and talk about those things. Again, something that in a general sense, men don't do as well as women with. You know, we kind of hold things in, they say. Not all men, okay, I'm generalizing here, but I think getting men in this type of an atmosphere might help them open up a bit more and be more transparent and learn and grow more as Christians. So good idea.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. Sorry. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I wanted to make that point. And from experience, it's amazing to see minds, I won't say minds, but hearts open up when other men are seeing or hearing other men open up about matters, and they walk away in times past just blown away at the opportunity to express something where they may have just simply it's not been on their mind or heart to express. And you're right, men, I will generalize too, but I will speak for myself. I've become in a little bit of a different sort these days, but I speak my heart openly, and I may speak it too much. But but I will say that knowing from my previous years that I was quiet as a button, and you couldn't get anything out of me. And sometimes that doesn't bode well in a marriage. You know, we need, of all places, we need communication in a marriage, and we need that transfer of information, and constantly knowing what the other one's thinking and what can I do to supply your needs. And it works really well when we exercise the art of communication.
Great point. I'm with you there. One of the most powerful lessons I learned was in a seminar when I was single many years ago, a men and women seminar. I learned a lot from that experience. So great idea, and keep it going.
Okay, great. Is there a limit on how many people can sign up to this? Is it like something that you need to get in on early, or?
Probably 500.
Okay.
500. Well, I'm not sure.
I don't know.
It's going to be I don't know if they can house them, but we'll have the ballroom. The ballroom holds, what, 500?
Right. That's why I say that it's not likely, but yeah.
Yeah, it's not likely, but we hope we can increase the numbers, especially, just by the men coming. It's going to definitely increase the numbers from last year, where we had an increase of 33% from the previous year for our women.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really hoping that this can, really kind of take off for the churches of God.
Tell you what, we'll try to advertise this, Lisa and John, on our other program, Prove All Things. That might catch another audience. And then we got a live Bible study we usually do twice a month. We'll try to advertise it on there too. So just to let you know.
And I'm hoping that Jeff can put it up on the webpage. I'll be talking to Charles and Vance tonight right after the show.
Okay, yes. Once I get the information and we're all approved to be a sponsor, we'll definitely have it on CGI. Mm-hmm. We'll promote it with all the means that we have necessary, which is a lot. So that's it sounds like a really good thing. And I'm definitely interested in that men's retreat. So I have to see if my wife is interested. We can both go out there and maybe make that happen. It just depends. I have to look at the calendar, see what else is going. But it's sounds very appealing to do that.
If I have a bit, I'll go ahead and put a plug in for the resort that we're meeting at. It's a wonderful place just an hour north of Dallas, and Tanglewood Resort. A lot of things. It's quite remote, and that is the beauty of this place. The accommodations keeps everybody in close proximity. We've enjoyed it there the last 2 years for the feast, hosting about 250 people each time. And so it's just a wonderful place, and the buffet meals are outstanding. And we have such a great relationship with the management there, and they've even heated the pools for us. They've added units to heat the pools. So not that we're going to need it in June, but anyway.
We had it during the feast.
We did have it during the feast. Yeah. So.
Kind of cool.
All right, great. Is there anything else you want to add before we move to our next segment?
I want to apologize for bolstering through what I had. I didn't realize that I was under the assumption that Lisa had already given so sorry about that.
It's fine. Hey, it was a great introduction. It's like, what? Oh, it was an attention retreat. So in my mind, it was more about, just making sure that there was something for both. I know, talking to the women at the retreat last year, some of them said, oh, it'd be great if we could get our husbands here. Mm-hmm. And so, it just kind of like put a seed in my mind. And I was like, ooh, Johnny Snyder would be the best person to ask about this.
I do want to put men's hearts at ease to say, look, you can come to the retreat and just sit in the corner and listen. Nobody's going to force you. But I tell you what, it will be amazing. And I would say, if it's even on your heart to just come and listen, I think it's worth your while. Nobody's going to force you to do anything. It's a very peaceful setting, and everybody, what we're interested in is everybody fulfilling what they need to do and to bring their, see to each other's needs, bottom line. And that's all I can say.
And definitely, we're going to be praying over you. We're going to be praying over you as the time draws near for those of you who, if it's God's will for you to be there, we want you to be there.
Great.
All right. Wonderful. All right. So I was going to ask Johnny, do you want to hang around for the next 10 minutes or so for the rest of the program?
I can. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Great.
I'll be here.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a commercial break. And after the commercial break, we'll be back. And I think Mike wants to talk about the church sale network. Is that it? The church sales and all the really great progress we've been making with it.
Yeah, I'll give you a little update on that, Jeff. Yes.
Okay, so we'll do that. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back in just a moment.
prophet is an inspired teacher or one who proclaims the will of God. A prophet is a person who communicates with God and therefore speaks for him. A prophet serves as intermediary between God and man. A prophet delivers his God-given knowledge to other people. It's common for people to have a love-hate relationship with prophets. On one hand, people say they want to hear what God has to say, but then they become angry when a prophet tells them to repent of sins and change their ways. Too many times, people want to have it both ways, where they get to hear the message of God while not wanting to be obedient to Him. We have an Armor of God message by Mike James called The Prophets. This message answers so many questions about prophets. It shows how the prophets of the Bible are totally different than all other prophets. This program even talks about the different types of prophets in the Bible, showing, for example, how the prophet Balaam was totally different than the prophets Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel. You can get this message by going to cgi.org. It's free. Again, it's called The Prophets by Mike James.
All right, we're back. We're back. All right, Mike. So I'm going to pull up on the screen so we can see our website, and if I can get both of them up at the same time here.
Great, Jeff. Great.
All right, there we go. And so we'll let you talk about the cell churches, because how many have we? Because we started this a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we started this in the fall of 2019, for the fall of 2019. And since that time, we've created 23 cell groups throughout the country. And what I mean by a cell is I'm talking about 2 to 9 people who want to come together and meet in someone's home for the ultimate purpose of building that into a fellowship group or church. So once we've got a cell together, we will advertise that cell on the website, let people know where it's located. We draw in some interest that way. And once people are meeting in someone's home on a regular basis, they also draw in some folks from the surrounding area that they know or they've heard of who might be interested. And since we started, we've created actually 2 groups. One in Vancouver, Washington. They're meeting on a regular basis in a hall now. So we can consider them a regular church group, about 15 to 20 people. And then we've got one going in Worcester, Massachusetts, a little bit smaller, maybe about a dozen people there. But both of those groups started with just a couple families getting together and starting to meet. So the other 20-some groups are much smaller, but they are still out there operating. We've lost 2 cells in this year and a half time frame. And what's happened with that was we had someone who passed away. We had someone move away. So those cells became single individuals or just a married couple. And I think I'm going to call those pods because we do have pods listed on our website also. If you scroll all the way to the bottom there, Jeff, we keep the cells in with the regular church groups. But if we go to the bottom of the website right here where it says additional cities with individuals seeking fellowship, I say we got about 15 people or couples out there in different parts of the country that are looking to create a cell. So if anyone lives in those areas or you're near those areas and you want to get together with the people we already have out there, there are people that are willing to host that cell in their home with the ultimate purpose of getting a fellowship group going in that area. So that's kind of the idea of the cell group. And what I use is people that I'm aware of, I know of through going to different feast sites, but also the mailing list that we have within the Church of God International. So that brings in some interested people too, to the people that I have established in different parts of the country. What happens is every three months or so, I will find 3 or 4 new locations to try to raise another cell in. And we're about to do a mailing to 4 other locations to start some new cells. We've got some interest in a couple places, and a couple of the places we don't have interest. We're just going to kind of go from scratch to see if we can bring some people up through that. So that's what the cell group concept is all about. And thus far, it's been quite successful, having 23 new groups in a year and a half. Even though they're very small, at least there's a presence out there that might bring in others. And that's the whole idea behind this. So what I want to do tonight, Jeff, is I just want to bring this up again to see if I can draw any interest like I did about a year and a half ago on Bring on the Sabbath.
Right.
When we got some people after we talked about this on Bring on the Sabbath, I had about 3 or 4 emails from individuals who wanted to get involved. And in some of those places, we did establish cells. So I'm hoping that happens again. So anybody out there, if you're interested in this idea, if you're lonely, if you're meeting by yourself or just a couple people and you want to bring in more people, shoot me an email. And I don't know, Jeff, if you've got my email or not. I can tell you what it is.
Yeah,
and
it's on the screen right now.
Okay. Oh, there it is. Yeah, thanks, Jeff. Okay. Yeah, mhjames6043@yahoo.com. Just shoot me an email. Let me know you're interested in this, and we will start talking and try to get something going in your area. Once again, Jeff, thanks for your time on this, and that's all I needed to say.
Hey, this cell church group thing has could have come at a better time with COVID and all the regulations and the small grouping thing.
Yeah, that's a good point, Lisa. Yeah, good point. Good point. We actually were trying to establish a couple cells when COVID really was hitting, and those cells never really got established. So right now I'm trying to bring those people together to start meeting for the first time now that things are settling down in some parts of the country. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. Yeah, good point.
Yes, it's very exciting that so many people are out there who watch webcast or who can't fellowship with others, and it's nice that we can try to do the best we can to find others they can have a fellowship with if it's possible.
Yeah, what the cells usually do, Jeff, is they will watch the webcast either from Tyler or Medina, and now I hear that Atlanta is going to start webcasting too. So they have choices of where they can watch a webcast, different times also. And what also they do is they have a Bible study in their home. Sometimes a group of them gets together, and instead of the webcast, they might do a Bible study that day, have a little fellowship afterwards. So that's kind of how they run. And again, anybody out there who's interested, please let me know. We'll try to get something going in your area. One other thing I should mention about this is, since it's started, what I do on the third Sabbath of each month is I do an online presentation for 1 hour for cell groups that want a connection to the church in a closer way, where you're talking live with somebody like me. I'll give a short message of about 40 minutes. And then for the remaining time, we'll just chat about what I talked about, answer questions, get comments from the folks online. I do one at 9:30 in the morning. So the third Sabbath is tomorrow. So at 9:30 tomorrow morning, I'll be dealing with cells in the Eastern time zone and the Central time zone. Then in the afternoon, I deal with cells in the Mountain time zone, the Western time zone, and we even got a cell out in Alaska. I even got a couple people in Kenya and Pakistan and now Bangladesh who are interested in joining us for these cell meetings. So I wanted to mention that. That's something new that I've added since I started the Cell Church program. I also send a weekly note to all the cells and make them aware of the news of the week that the church puts out. So what's happening in the church that week, how much mail we put out, how many CDs, how much tithes came in, what is our Armor of God program that week, all that type of statistical data related to the church goes out to the cell groups once a week.
All right, well, that's great, and it's so good to hear about that progress. And that's only just in a few short years. So hopefully these cell groups will continue to grow, and where they're located, more people maybe can be drawn to those groups, and maybe we can establish some more churches. Because the one you say is it in Oregon, the church, or Washington, or?
Yeah, right on the border, almost Vancouver. It's near Portland, Oregon. Yeah,
and that's where I think my good friend Steve Niebler is.
Yeah, Steve's there. He's our host up there, so he's done a lot of good work up there. Yeah,
I am planning at some point to go out there and visit that church.
Great.
And maybe Mike would as well once all this stuff is over.
I hope to.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to thank Lisa for joining us tonight. She's one of the original BOTS members, and then also Johnny. Thanks. And I'm gonna put the website address up one more time for those who want to hear more about the men and women's retreat, and they can go to that website and learn more. We're gonna have to stop in just a few minutes because we're set to an hour time limit tonight, and reason is I am going to be if I can pull this up. I am going, I gotta find this now. All right. Chrome tab. Well, never mind. I was going to show you the Infused website. I have an Infused Bible study that's going to start in probably 5 minutes that I need to run the Zoom for. So, and if anybody's interested, that if you're between the ages of 18, 30, and you want to be a part of a Bible study, the Infused Bible study I'm not doing the Bible study, it's done by the young people that are, and there's a lot of interaction and talking from young people from the Philippines, Jamaica, just all over the place, Africa and United States, Canada, that is really good. So if you're interested in being a part of that, you can email me and I can send you the link to that Zoom meeting. If not tonight, I know it's kind of late, but in the future, you want to be a part of that list and want to join with the Infused meetings.
Hey, Jeff, you got a minute left?
Yeah, we got about a minute left.
Hey, I just wanted to ask Johnny, I don't know too much about your church there. Could you tell us a little bit about the origins of the church, how you got going, and,
You're opening up a can of worms, man.
Oh, no. Okay, well, maybe I could give you a different question.
No, that's fine. I purely, I think, I'll try to be brief. The North Texas Fellowship was more so for the sake of just having a name identified in order for us to host a feast up here at Tanglewood. Otherwise, we just, we're not really trying to identify by name, but best be members of the body of Christ. And that's about the best I could describe it, as my family fellowships with various groups here in the local area and even go to East Texas. So I would say about the only way I can describe it is we try to go where God leads us. And I think there's a name for that, but I don't know. I won't necessarily identify as that. I just, I think we have certainly a group of people that are very good friends, and we're meeting new people along the way. I will say, growing up in Big Sandy, Texas, where the second campus of Ambassador College was back in the days of Worldwide Church of God, it afforded me many relationships growing up in that area. So one of the things that I identify is that their church had an ability to hurt a few people. and it didn't need to be that way. And I think we have the ability to bring back people and point them to Christ rather than men's traditions. And I'll say that, and that's about the best way I can put it.
Very good, very good. Thank you for that information. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Again, thank you, and hopefully you can be a part of a future bots or even join us on a Tuesday. Prove all things. But right now we're going to have to end this. We're on the 24-hour network, so there's going to be programming right after this. And we thank everyone out there who's watching and joining and commenting, and maybe if you watch the replays. So we're going to say goodbye, everybody, and have a great Sabbath. May God bless it.
May God bless your Sabbath.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Thanks. Nice meeting you.
Same here, Mike.